All right. So we're going to talk about this really quickly. First of all, we have a lot to do today. It's a crazy day today. But secondly, the game comes out in a couple months. So I don't want to sit here and talk for like 5 hours about this. But I do want to talk about the new trailer. I think what happened was Square Enix got tired of everyone saying, well, I'm not buying it if the gold saucer isn't in it. And I'm not buying it if we don't get to go here. And I'm not buying it if I don't get to see Junon. That they just put everything in the trailer. Like literally everything. Just everything. They just blew it all on this trailer. It's insane. Everything's in this trailer. It's absolutely wild. So I'm not going to play through the whole thing. Like I'm just going to pause because I'm sure everyone's already watched it. So
at least that's what everyone's.
First of all, I can't believe this is the first shot. I was going to talk about this when we got the Kyrie, or what's her name? I don't even know her name. We'll just talk about it now. So Zach and Cloud are in Midgar. So we're already throwing it in. We're already throwing in the towel. Like, here we go. Cloud and Zach are in Midgar. So there's like 3 different things that this could be, right? Because yes, that's Elmira back there. Pretty sure it is.
Ending.
In fact, isn't it her talking?
The world's ending. At least that.
Yeah, it's her talking, and there she is. So, anyways, yeah, I could turn captions on. So there's like 3 things this could be. It could be A, they changed what happened with Zach, and instead of him dying to the soldiers, he makes it all the way to Midgar. That's option number 1. That option is probably the most possible, given the ending of Remake, where they kind of show that, like, oh, he survived the fight, right? And then, like, the whole thing with the dog sticker, and there's a ton of, like, awesome in-depth theories. We're not going to go into it right now, but basically, because of Sephiroth and because of the Whispers and because of everything changing, Zach has now survived that fight, and now they're in Midgar, right? That's option A. Option B is multiverse theory. You know, this Zach is the Zach from another timeline, and Aerith is from another timeline, and they're eventually gonna come together, and Zach's gonna meet the party from the other timeline, and yada yada, right? We're not gonna get into it. That's the second option, right? Third option, which is a terrible option, but third option is that Zach is a figment of Cloud's imagination. I don't really believe this, but it is technically possible that, like, this is just Cloud coming to Midgar and he's imagining Zach in his head. I really don't think that's what it is, but I figured I'd throw it in there because it is potentially possible. This could be Cloud retelling him getting to Midgar and this didn't actually happen. That's option C. Let's move on.
The sky, I don't like it.
We got the cannon. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Ready to fire, sir. Welcome.
And
to the new world.
I'm really enjoying. I said I wanted to see more Rufus. We're seeing more Rufus. They set him up nice in the remake, and we're seeing more of him. I love it. This looks weird. I don't know what it is with this anime. This looks like, I don't know. There's something weird about this. But anyways, I don't know why I said. But no, he looks great. We got the so that's great.
Just close your eyes.
This is Gongaga, I think, right? I was looking at this before. I wasn't 100% sure it was Gongaga, but I think it's Gongaga, right? It's like really close to the reactor, but pretty sure that's Gongaga.
Close your eyes and listen.
And this is Coral, right? At first I was like, what is this? But this is Coral. Gotta be, right? With the bridge and Like I can't tell if that's the reactor. Oh, or it could be Lower Junon. You're right. Is that water there? Maybe this is Lower Junon. Oh, it's got to be, because this big wall, this wouldn't be. Yeah, no, it's got to be Lower Junon. 100%. Got to be Lower Junon. It's just kind of like, there's something about it that looks weird to me. I don't know if it's just the big mountain wall. But like, when you think about it, actually, in fact, these are the stairs. These are the stairs you walk down to get to Bottom Swell. Now it makes more sense. I was like, why is there this big rock wall? I don't remember this in Lower Junon, but you're going down the stairs onto the beach. You can even see more of the water there in a second.
Just close your eyes and listen.
Yeah, you can see the water and the, yeah.
Tell me you can't hear that.
Then we got Cosmo Canyon. Look at it. It's beautiful. We don't get a lot of it, but it's Cosmo Canyon. It's beautiful. It's huge. It's not just the one spire. It's like a whole mountain range. Looks amazing. Tifa doing Tifa things. I was not 100% sure what these boats were, but I think this is. There was another place with boats later.
Planet runs out of energy. Everything.
This just looks like outside of Midgar or something, or actually it could be by Gungaga too.
Dies.
We can overcome our fate.
Am I the same as these monsters?
We got
Even
flashback. He for some reason cuts the thing
human?
in half instead of it exploding, but that's honestly better.
Looking for Sephiroth. Think you can find him?
We got Kate sit. Look at him.
Sephiroth, you see.
And he's I like how he's just straight up standing on the Moogle. He's not like riding it. He's just standing there. And he's got the voice.
Sephiroth, you see.
Yeah, I really like his voice. Way better than the super overdone Scottish of
Oh, Sephiroth, you see.
I don't know, there's something about it that's like really, it's got that manly raspiness to it. I like it. But it's not as over the top as Advent Children was. So now this was what I wanted to see Kate Sith combat because I didn't know how he would be different enough to be fun. Because like we have Aerith with magic and we have everyone else be like how are we gonna make him different? But the way that he you can fight with the cat and the Moogle and jump in and out, and they kind of like the Moogle just like appears. Like it's looking like it's looking like Kate says it's actually pretty fun. We got the buggy, which is like really wild. And it looks like we're driving on the world map. I mean, this looks like the world map to me, not like a little course for the buggy or something.
As you can see,
this blew my mind. I couldn't believe this. When I saw this, this was the moment that I actually like got really excited. I was kind of just watching like in awe until this point. Then I saw this and I was like, oh my god. Because not only is it a black chocobo, meaning that we pretty much just have like complete chocobo breeding, but the fact that he's like goofily walking up the wall at like a 90-degree angle just kills me. Like this shows me that they want to make this world map feel like the original world map, you know? Like we're not just having Final Fantasy 16 where everything's just a mission and there's like these little explorable areas. Like, no, this is going to be a world where we could explore and like what, I mean, it's just, this really sold me. Something about this just made me feel like, okay, they get it. Like they're going to make the world map, you know, something that we can all enjoy. I mean, look at this. Couldn't do this in the original.
get together.
Also couldn't do this in the original.
As you can see, your brothers down there are...
No, this is wild. Like, and I don't know, man. It's going to be a big world. It's not going to be Final Fantasy 16. You know, I was really starting to feel like 16 was a little snippet of what the remake was going to be, where we're just going to get mission-based stuff and then little tiny areas to explore. You know, like, I figured they would take, like, in between Calm and the farm and make that, like, a little area you could explore. And then the area between the Mithril Mines and Junon and make that a little area to explore. You know what I mean? Like, 16-wise. This isn't that. This is a big open world, you know? Like, they are going for a big open world where we can get chocobos and just explore it and get in the buggy and just explore it. It's perfect.
Get together.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
You can see your brothers down there.
I had said something about I hope they bring the humor back in Costa del Sol, because that's kind of the point of Costa del Sol, is it's like this like comedy relief to all of the weight of the story, you know? And so I wanted some comedy in Costa del Sol. We got it. I also want to point out that whoever did the trailer, you can't see it with my face in the way, but whoever did the trailer traveled over 1,000 meters in this thing. So they were liking it.
Get together. They're our best chance of finding Sephiroth.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking me who this doctor is. 90% sure this is a new character. There's never a point in the original where you see these guys with a doctor. It's obviously not Hojo. It's obviously not the Medial doctors. It could be the Medial doctors, but I find that very hard to believe. I don't think we ever touch Medial. So I think this is just a made-up character.
Because I suspect there's soldiers.
So to try to explain these guys more, because these guys are more of the story this time around. In the original, they're really just there for the reunion. But in this game, these guys are like way more important. So I think there's a lot more to do with them.
Suffering from cellular degradation. Do not be deceived.
And I mean, obviously,
Cellular...
we don't see the Medial Doctor until Cloud is gone. So, like, the fact that Cloud is here, I don't think it's a Medial Doctor.
Degradation. Do not be
I do not
deceived.
think we even go to Medial.
You know the truth. Trust in me.
This is in the ship.
Sephiroth!
We got the boy. Look at, he doesn't look that
In
big.
me.
Sephiroth!
He doesn't, like, he's big, but he doesn't look like skyscraper big. He does look great though. And we got Bottom Swell. He looks super cool. And now we got the combo moves. So I'll talk more about these later. But these look fantastic. And this is, you know, I was saying before that they need to add some stuff to the combat because we cannot just have the remake again for 60 hours. People are going to get really bored of the combat. I don't think this is enough, but it's a good start. We definitely need some more stuff like this to mix up the combat, because right now it's just looking like more of Final Fantasy Remake combat, which I love, but people are going to get sick of it if they played a whole game of it and then they just play another whole game of it, right? So this is a good start. These look really awesome. We got the Aerith, Kate Sith, Laser Beam. Then we got this, which looks incredible. But I was wondering, so my guess with this is this is Zack and Sephiroth's move that Cloud is like retelling, right? Because Cloud and Sephiroth obviously would never move together. So this is Zack and Sephiroth's move, and Cloud is retelling it as if he did it, right? But does Cloud look that young to you? Like, he doesn't look like young Cloud to me. But maybe it's just this trailer, or just like, because the trailer's not super high quality. It's only 1080. And even then, everything's moving. So, but but he kind of just looks like Cloud to me. I mean, his face is a bit like, he's got a bit more of a baby face. But yeah, he's definitely not that much younger. Sephiroth actually looks kind of younger. But anyways, the big thing, they're fighting Materia Keeper. I saw some people putting up question marks about this. I don't really understand why. I think this makes perfect sense. They fight Materia Keeper in the flashback, and then later the party fights the real Materia, the older Materia Keeper later. Square loves to do stuff like this, where like time things, where the party sees something at the very beginning of the game, and then later it comes back. Or in a flashback, you see something, and then you see it older later. It's like Square Enix's favorite thing to do. So obviously, they fight the Materia Keeper, it runs away, and then the party gets here later, and then the Materia Keeper comes back, and then Cloud's going to have some line where he's like, I remember this guy. That obviously that's what they're going to do. I mean, I guess there's a chance that they kill the Materia Keeper here, and then we never get to fight Materia Keeper, but I kind of really doubt that. So I'm pretty sure we fight him here, and we fight him again later. And that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat that we get to fight a boss with Sephiroth and Cloud and not just random enemies and then it's over, right? This blew me away. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wait, they're showing summons? What? I couldn't believe it. They literally showed everything. So we get Alexander, who's like, what? So remember this. Remember this. Put this in the back of your head. Remember this for later. We got... so they never explain what this is, but it looks like Shata, because there's ice and bull, right? And then fire, so yeah, it's gotta be Shata. I'll show you later. They never actually say who that is, but it's gotta be Shata. Then we got Odin. And then this great scene. Hold on, we need a nice freeze frame on that. So the thing about this that I wanted to point out was Barrett doesn't look like he's in it. I see no Barrett. This could just be... maybe he stormed off before they got in the thing, in the trolley, instead of storming off after they get in the trolley. So I wouldn't read too far into that, but just saying, I don't see Barrett unless he's like in the corner. But Barrett's pretty big. It's pretty hard to miss him. Then this Justin Timberlake makes a return. I don't know what this scene is. They randomly throw this in. We don't know any of these characters except Aerith. So I'm not sure what this is. This character looks way too detailed to not be a character. So I think this is actually a character. We don't know who this is, but keep her in the back of your head, because this is someone. Unless, is it Yuffie? No way. Why is she... What? It is Yuffie.
Look!
Do we have skins? Why is he dressed up like that? And they specifically show it. And none of the other characters are dressed up.
Look!
Maybe we get some like cool mini side quest with Yuffie when we're in the Gold Saucer. I can't believe I didn't realize that was Yuffie. This is the first time I didn't freeze frame this the first time I watched it, but I didn't realize it was her. Then we got Dio, who looks crazy. I don't even know. I know everyone's gonna yell at me again for not using the buttons to just go by one frame. How do you do that again? Ah, there it is. Got it. All right, we got there. So, yeah, it's a lot better. Dio looks a lot better than he did in the original game. Because in the original, he's just kind of big shirtless guy. I think he looks a lot cooler here. Like, he actually looks like a character and not just we needed some guy to yell and make Cloud go to the battle arena. I hope he actually has more going on too. Also, yeah, he looks like Heihachi. Then we got the Chocobo Racing, which I'm not gonna lie, this looks kind of bad. Like it gives me like the freaking BBS kart racer vibes. I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's just the cute graphics. Maybe it's a lot better than it looks, and it's just the cute graphics that makes it look. It's just got that Chocobo GP BBS racer vibe going with like the giant track, but still excited for this because it looks way more in depth. It looks like there's probably going to be actually like training and like it looks pretty in depth. So that's exciting. Like picking up like items and stuff too. Then we got this 3D battler where I'd like to point out this guy's name is Saucer Brawler. So that's pretty incredible. Then we got the bike mini game. Let's go. All right, this is the part I was talking about earlier with them going up to Kyrie.
Could you look after my friend just for a bit?
So like,
Excuse me.
this is where
Could you look after my friend just for a bit?
this is where a little bit of the like maybe this is all in Cloud's imagination comes into play, because he gives Cloud to Kyrie and then might like go off and we never see him again, or the fact that Kyrie like kind of is forced to hold Cloud. She can't really interact with Zack. So maybe that's a way to like, Kyrie. Got it. I never cared about this character. Even in the remake, I didn't care because she like appeared and then you did that one side quest with her and then she was gone. So anyways, so the fact that she's holding Cloud could mean that like, Zack doesn't exist or something. Just throwing it out there. Hopefully we actually care about her in this game. It seems like we might. Although I don't really know how much they're going to be able to do with her because none of the game takes place in Midgar. So I feel like what's happening here,
Excuse me.
from a game development standpoint, I feel like what's happening here is they want to tell this story with Zack and Cloud because they want to reuse Midgar. Because they spent so much time creating Midgar, and the rest of the game doesn't take place in Midgar. We're not going to be in Midgar again until the third game, right? So they want to use Midgar somewhere in Rebirth. So they're telling this story with Zack and Cloud as a way to like reuse Midgar and reuse some of the characters in Midgar, like Elmira and Kyrie, who we've put some time into, but would now just be gone, in part 2. So they want to reuse these characters and reuse these assets. So they're telling this story with Zack and Cloud. Will it connect to the overall story? Yes. Will it be super important? We don't know. It could just be they're retelling the story and then it ends up being nothing. It could be that Zack survived but then just dies later and it doesn't really matter. Or it's a whole multi-timeline, multiverse thing where eventually these two characters meet up with the party and crazy stuff ensues. We don't know. But for me, from a game development standpoint, I think it's mostly they wanted to take us back to Midgar because they've invested so much time and effort into Midgar. They don't want us to then just completely miss it in the second game, right?
Could you look after my friend just for a bit?
Then we got the parade. We got more Rufus. Then there's this guy, which a lot of people are asking me about. So, also nice shot there. Everyone's asking me who this guy is. Again, 90% sure new character. The only thing that I think this guy could be that we would actually know would be a Deep Ground person. Because we know that Deep Ground is involved, but we don't know the extent of it yet. But none of the Civiettes, however you pronounce it, none of them had facial hair, so it's not any of them. But could be like a Deep Ground operative or something. but like he looks way too detailed to just be some random guy. So I think it's a new character. Probably Xehanort. Probably good call. Probably Xehanort. Deep Ground is the secret soldier people that Shinra created to be a final military threat. That was primarily talked about in Dirge, but they have several Deep Ground characters in Intergrade, so we know that they exist. We know that they're going to be part of the story at some point, but none of them look like this guy, so it's kind of a moot point.
A weapon?
Then we have... I was completely beside myself watching this. Like, okay, we're going to show Gold Saucer. We're going to show pretty much all the locations, right? Cosmo Canyon, like everything, right? So, okay, then we're going to show the summons. Like, okay, we're just showing the summons too. That's cool. Whatever. Awesome. Now we're showing the weapons? Like, what?
Tutelary creature.
I think this is Square Enix being like, we need to show them everything, because people keep saying like, oh, well, there was those accessories in the first game that looked like the weapons, so we're not going to get the weapons. So Square Enix is like, shut up. Like, we know what we're doing. Here are the weapons.
When the planet is in grave danger.
And then
Disturb my slumber.
we get Vincent too? Like, what is going on? So now we have everyone but Sid. I couldn't believe. I was like, no way.
It's upon
Couldn't
us.
believe.
The reunion. When worlds merge. I'm waiting, Cloud.
So the interesting thing there is him saying when worlds merge. So when worlds merge, timeline thing, Zack and Cloud merging with the other Zack and Cloud. Who knows what he means there. There's been several things that they've dropped that have been like hinting at the multiverse thing without actually saying it. So that's just another one. So is it really a thing? Who knows? But yeah, regardless, freaking absolutely insane trailer. Like, just I could not believe how crazy this trailer was. Okay, so a few things I want to go over. First of all, this is the possible box art. And it shows Cloud, Zack, and Sephiroth. So again, this world's merge thing. I think that maybe, okay, so if you wanna be like OG Final Fantasy about it and be like, okay, how do I spin this so that it sticks with the OG Final Fantasy? If you want to be a huffing the copium, it'd be like, this has got to be like the original story. How did they do this? He could be saying that worlds merge, as in once Cloud gets to Sephiroth, he is going to tell him of Zack, because that does happen in the original. When they get to the North Crater, he shows him the picture of Zack and says, he doesn't actually say the name Zack, but he says, this isn't you. Haha. So there is a chance that when he says when worlds merge, he's telling Cloud that he's going to tell him about his past and how it's not real. Obviously, it could also mean that he meets Zack, who is somehow still alive, whether it be multiverse or not, and craziness ensues. But I could also see it as being just the original story, where Sephiroth tells Cloud, hey, you weren't in the picture, and screws with his mind, right? So, either one. Now, this is what I wanted to point out here. For some unknown reason, this description literally tells us where the game's going to end. Players will enjoy various new elements as the story unfolds, culminating in the party's journey to the forgotten capital from the original Final Fantasy VII. Don't know why they did that. I don't think it's a typo. And many people probably didn't read this and just hit pre-order. So, I mean, technically it doesn't literally mean it ends there, but I mean, it does say culminating in the party's journey. So yeah, and there were interviews too, but interviews, they always give a bit more juice. But the fact that the description of the game is like, here's where it's going to end. Like, what? I don't understand why they would do that. But so, that's pretty interesting, right? So it doesn't end in Crater. It ends in City, which I think is what I said originally. So I'm the best. I said it was going to end in City. It kind of makes sense not to end in Crater, because if it ended in Crater, it would end with Cloud being screwed up. And then how would you start the next game, right? Like Cloud would be out and it wouldn't, like, it just wouldn't flow well. Whereas if it ends in City, then the big climax is the death scene. And then the next game can start with their journey to the North Crater. And then you can have the big scene at the North Crater, right? So it makes more sense from a game design aspect to, let me do this because can't read chat. Makes more sense from a game design aspect to do it that way. So you have a big finale at part 2, and then you have like a build up at the beginning of part 3. So makes sense to end in City, but it would have been nice if they didn't say that in the description. Also, we have this page, which I don't know if everyone looked at, but this is their like little closer look at Rebirth. And there's a couple things in here that are not in the trailer. So this is in the trailer. This is in the trailer. This is not in the trailer. I don't think this is in the trailer. That was in the trailer, I think. This was not in the trailer. I really like this picture of Yuffie. That was in the trailer. That was in the trailer. This I was in the trailer, but I don't remember if we got that close of a look at his face. That was in the trailer. This picture was not in the trailer. And everyone's memeing about this picture because it has Red 13 on the Chocobo. Oh, well, let me zoom in. But yeah, Red 13 on the Chocobo. Here, do it this way. There you go. There he is in all of his glory. Is Kate Sith on the other one? Because it's got to be, right? Can't really see him, but he's got to be back there. So yeah, that's pretty great. And then this is another shot of the buggy that we didn't see. In addition to Chocobos, this game features many other ways to get from one place to another, so it is going to be on the world map. This is a different picture, but it's the same. Different picture, but the same. Another picture of the Chocobo race, and you can see some stuff to pick up and some of the goofy scenery. This whole farm thing just really gives me a freaking Chocobo GP vibe. That's pretty much the same. Get a different picture of Bottom Swell. He looks amazing. He's got this really cool, like, kind of Chinese dragon look. It's freaking sweet. This is new, but there's not really too much to discern from it, other than this cool bridge and these planes. Well, what are these? I don't even know what those are. I saw those floating in the scene in the trailer where he's flying on the Chocobo. You could see those in the background. So they're either, but actually no, I think those were different. Now I'm curious.
Brothers down there are having.
Yeah, no, these are like little propeller thing. These are probably like you grab them with the chocobo and you get Gil or something. Whereas these are actual just Gelnika planes. Go flying the Junon or something. This is new, but there's not much to discern from it. That's a burb. Got a cool lizard thing that kind of looks like bottom swell, but it's not. Got Tifa doing what looks like a basketball shot. It's pretty nice. Then they talk about the synergy abilities a bit. They also give us the names of these. So Sephiroth and Clouds is Double Helix. Yuffie and Barrett's is Ninja Carbine. And Aerith and Kate Sith is Kitty Cannonade. Okay, so they talk a little bit more about the summons. Remember when I said remember Alexander? So let me do this so you guys can read the chat while we're on this screen. So weird thing about Alexander, he does not show up until Crater. Till you're on your way to Crater. So they moved Alexander quite a bit back, which, I mean, they did with Bahamut too. But they're running out of summons to use in part 3, that's for sure, because they've taken Bahamut from part 2 and put him in part 1. Now they got Alexander from part 3 they put in part 2. Jata and Odin make sense. But yeah, just throwing that in there. Alexander, we would not normally get Alexander this early. Then Odin, and then we have more of this is all from the trailer, except this is them in the Bugenhagen's room. Aerith's making a really goofy face. And that's the same. I don't really want to talk about these at the moment, but there's... Wait, do you get this for the... Hold on a second. Wow, I got played. I got played by their website. All right, so we got... Physical Deluxe Edition gets you the Steelbook, the Art Book, the CD. Right? Collector's Edition gets you the 2 Materias, the armor, the accessory, the statue, and then the same stuff, right? The Digital Deluxe, for some stupid reason, only lists the Magic Pot. But you do get the Moogle if you pre-order it, which I was not aware of. I looked at this and said, okay, I'm missing out on the Moogle materia if I get the digital version. Because what I did last time for the remake, I didn't want the statue. The statue was stupidly overpriced, right? So I ended up buying the physical edition and the digital edition because it was still cheaper, and I got all the materia because they split it between the 2 versions for some stupid reason. So I had to get a physical copy and a digital copy to get all the materia because I didn't want the statue, right? But this time, I was like, oh, one of the materias is specifically only for the collector's edition. So I got the collector's edition, even though I didn't really want the $350 statue because I wanted all the materia, right? But if you pre-order this one, you get the Moogle materia, which they don't say here. So I got played by their website and spent $270 I don't need to spend. Excellent. Really happy. Well, okay, maybe not that much. How much is this one normally? The Physical Deluxe? Physical Deluxe is 100. So I spent $250 more dollars. Great. Wonder if I can get a refund. The thing is, though, I do want a physical copy of the game, so I don't really want to pre-order. Do you get it for pre-ordering the physical? Probably not, huh? Pre-order the physical deluxe edition. Do you get the Mughal materia? No. What? Unless they're saying both of these for both of these, but I think this one goes to that one and this one goes to that one. It's so confusing. I don't know why it has to be so confusing. Like, why can't it just be obvious? Okay, here we go. Deluxe edition, you get the accessory. You don't get the Mughal materia. So yeah, if I want the Mughal materia, I got to get the collectors. Or if I want the Mughal materia and I want a physical copy of the game, then I have to get the collectors. If you don't care about getting a physical copy, you could pre-order the digital deluxe and get everything. That is digital. You don't get any of the physical stuff, but you get everything in terms of the game. What a joke. Why has it got to be so complicated? Anyways, I think that was everything I had to say. There was only one more thing I wanted to say, and I don't remember where it is. If someone remembers, feel free to tell me. But I do not remember exactly where it says it. But somewhere in one of their official things... Oh, you know what I think it was? I think it was on our Discord. I think someone posted it in our... I think it was one of the interviews. It was one of their official things. They said that the events of the game will take place in a different order. That is what they said. They said that the locations you visit will be in a different order than in the original, which is weird. Like, it's not... I feel like part of the... I feel like part of the... Yeah, it's in here. I won't go through this whole thing because they give a lot of spoilers, but I think that, like, if they move around the events for gameplay reasons, it makes sense. But I can't think of where they would need to do that. It's not a big deal. Like, it's whatever. We'll play the game and then we'll make our opinion. But I'm thinking about it right now and I'm like, why would they need to move the stuff around? You have, like, kind of a perfect pacing with the original game. You get, like, the Nibelheim flashback and the farm, and then you get, boom, big Midgar Zolom. Then you go through the Mithril Mines, which I'm hoping more happens with the Turks in there. Then you go to Junon, and there's all the goofiness with Junon, and then boom, the big boss fight on the boat. Then you get all the goofiness with Costa del Sol, and then going to Coral, and then boom, all the stuff with Dine, who we didn't see, by the way. So, like, I feel like there's a great, lull in the action, and then big boss, and then lull in the action, and then big boss. Probably because the original is an incredibly well-paced game. So I don't know why they necessarily need to move stuff around. I can understand if they move the flashback, maybe. But, I think one cool thing that maybe they could do is retell the flashback in multiple parts throughout the game instead of having it all in calm, especially since that's right when the game starts. So instead they could, like, the party could be in calm and he could be like, okay, here's the start of the flashback. And then they leave and go to the farm and go fight the Zolom. And then it does a flashback back to the calm. And he's like, okay, here's part 2 of the flashback. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, I don't really see a reason to move stuff around. Maybe you move around Fort Condor, maybe. Like, maybe we don't have Fort Condor right off the bat. Maybe we have that later. Maybe the Gold Saucer is, like, earlier. But But again, like the gold saucer is in a perfect spot because you visit it once and you enjoy it, and then you leave, and you go do other stuff, and then you have to go back for the date scene. So I don't know. It all seems like it would work fine. I don't know why they need to move stuff around, but I will withhold judgment until we actually see the game. Overall, the trailer looks incredible. I can't believe how much stuff they showed. It's looking like we're not going to get Sid, honestly, because like at this point, I feel like they would have showed him, or maybe they're just holding off because that's like the one thing they're not going to show. But we need something for part 3. Like imagine if we have all the characters and then we just play part 3 and we already have all the characters. So I'm thinking maybe we get Sid, but he's not playable or something, or it's either that or they're going to like reveal him right before the game comes out. We didn't get to see any Dyne stuff, which I'm happy about. I don't really want to see any Dyne stuff. That's like probably the part I'm the most excited about of the whole game. So I'm kind of happy that we didn't see any Dyne stuff yet. Didn't see any Temple, which is probably good as well. I know Bro said he thinks he saw it, but we didn't, we're not actually getting like a big trailer for the Temple or the city. So I'm hoping they kind of hold all that. That's kind of that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's like we want to show all the fun stuff, but then we're going to keep like Temple, City, and Sid for when you play the game. I still can't believe they showed Vincent, honestly, but it's what I thought. The optional characters are just going to be thrown in like pretty early so they can be a big part of the story, like kind of they wanted to do in the original game before they couldn't. Yeah, keep that in mind, by the way. The original game, they wanted Yuffie and Vincent to be a bigger part of the story. It was because of time restraints that they made them optional characters. So anyone that's like, they should be optional, like in the original, like keep in mind, they didn't actually want them to be optional in the original. But anyways, yeah, no, it's looking amazing. I think that multiverse theory is starting to get some real weight with the way that they're showing stuff. But I think that's also the point. I think they want us to think that. So whether or not that actually happens, we'll have to wait and see. I like the idea that this whole worlds colliding thing is actually just Sephiroth messing with Cloud's mind. But I'd also be okay if we actually do meet Zack and they make it work in the story. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's everything I wanted to say. I'm excited. It's looking incredible. We're a couple months away. I'm ready. Ready to rock. Ready for this game to come out.